1. Aquaculture is the farming of aquatic organisms that include fish, mollusks, crustaceans, and aquatic plants. A. True. B. False. C. None of the above. D. All of the above. Answer: true. The term aquaculture refers to the cultivation of both marine and freshwater species and can range from a land-based to open zero ocean production. According to FAO 214, S 2001, fishery operations involves the breeding and farming of fish and other fishery species in fresh, marine, and brackish water areas. 2. These are primarily nitrogen-based wastes and have the potential to reduce marine productivity in some coastal areas and deplete the oxygen in coastal ecosystems. A. Habitat destruction. B. Escapes. C. Pollution. D. Disease transfer. Answer: C. Pollution. Contamination and leftover feed are waste products of the farming of marine fish, crustaceans, and even bivalves. 3. It refers to the fishery operations involving all forms of raising and culturing marine fish and other fishery species. A. Aquaculture. B. Marine aquaculture. C. Mariculture. D. Sea farming. Answer: A. Aquaculture. Aquaculture is the breeding, rearing, and harvesting of fish, shellfish, algae, and other organisms in all types of water environment. 4. This doesn't apply to fungus-related illnesses in aquaculture. A. They are multicellular filamentous heterotrophic microorganisms. B. When examining affected fish or eggs with the naked eye, they often have cottony-like structures. C. Both internally and externally infect the fish. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. By raising the salinity level where fungi are directly impacted, freshwater fungi that externally infect fish can be killed. 5. Which is the most gross sign of an epizootic ulcerative disorder? A. Loss of appetite. B. Sluggish swimming behavior. C. Difficulty in breathing. D. Ulcerative lesions. Answer: D. Ulcerative lesion. The most common sign and side effect of EUS is the ulcerative injury, where its name was inferred that the show of ulcerative injuries within the contaminated fish. Other choices are commonly seen in other bacterial and parasitic diseases. 6. Which is causing viral diseases in tilapia? A. Tilapia lake virus. B. Tilapia common virus. C. Cichlid freshwater virus. D. All of the above. Answer: A. Tilapia lake infection disease, or syncytial hepatitis of tilapia, SHT, is caused by disease with tilapia lake virus, TILV. TILV is an encompassed, negative sense, single-stranded RNA infection that has been classified as a relative of the Orthomyxoviridae family of viruses. 7. Vital organs like the gills are more problematic for parasitic infections than non-vital organs like the skin and fins. And what reasons? A. They have a direct impact on fish organs like the gills, which related to fish death. B. Both vital and non-vital organs are not genuinely toxic to parasites. C. Both A and B. D. All of the above. Answer: A. They have a direct impact on organs like the gills, which are directly involved in the fish's immediate survival or death. Therefore, if the fish's gills are contaminated, they will probably have breathing problems that will weaken or perhaps kill them depending on the severity of the infection. 8. These are common signs and side effects of bacterial disease except: A. Broadening of eyes, guts, or any inner organs. B. Loss of appetite. C. Lesions in any portion of the body. D. None of the above. Answer: D. None of the above. All choices are common signs and symptoms of bacterial diseases in fish. 9. Blank are naturally occurring compounds, or a derivative such a compounds made up of molecules of carbon, C, hydrogen, H, and oxygen, O. A. Proteins. B. Amino acids. C. Carbohydrates. D. Lipids. Answer: C. Carbohydrates are the most widespread organic substances and play a vital role in all life. 10. Blank are nutrient groups that an organism metabolizes to produce the energy it needs for numerous physiological processes and physical activities, example proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. A. Energy-yielding nutrients. B. Energy. C. Nutrients. D. Vitamins. Answer: A. Energy-yielding nutrients. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins are also referred to as energy-yielding macronutrients because they supply the body with energy. 11. Vitamins are substances that our bodies need to develop and function normally. They include vitamins A, C, D, E, and K, choline, and the B vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, biotin, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and folate or folic acid. A. True. B. False. Answer: A. True. Vitamin and minerals are essential for bodily functions such as helping to fight infection, aid wound healing, make our bones strong and regulate hormones. 12. Metabolism is the process of breaking down food by mechanical and enzymatic action in the alimentary canal into substances that can be used by the body. A. True. B. False. Answer: B. False. Is the chemical reactions inside the living cells that change food into energy. Our bodies need this energy for locomotion, development, and to sustain daily function and bodily processes. 13. Calcium, Ca, phosphorus, P, potassium, K, sodium, Na, chloride, Cl, magnesium, Mg, iron, Fe, zinc, Zn, iodine, I, chromium, Cr, copper, Cu, fluoride, F, molybdenum, Mo, manganese, Mn, and selenium, Se, are examples of minerals that essential for health. A. True. B. False. Answer: A. True. Those elements found in the environment and in foods that our bodies need to develop and function normally. 14. Proteins are present in all living organisms and include many essential biological compounds such as enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. A. True. B. False. Answer: A. True. Proteins are naturally occurring, extremely complex substances that consist of amino acid residues joined by peptide bonds. It is also a large, complex molecules that play many critical roles in the body. 15. In selecting fish foods, what are the foods used in a pond? A. Natural food. B. Supplementary feeds. C. Complete feeds. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. Natural food include detritus, bacteria, plankton, worms, insects, snails, aquatic plants, and fish. Supplementary feeds are feeds regularly distributed to the fish in the pond. They usually consist of cheap materials locally available such as terrestrial plants, kitchen wastes or agricultural byproducts. Complete feeds may also be regularly distributed. They are made from a mixture of carefully selected ingredients to provide all the nutrients necessary for the fish to grow well. 16. A food conversion above 2 is poor when A. Poor quality feed is fed. B. The feed, size or nutritional quality, given is not suitable for the age of fish being grown. C. The culture conditions are stressful to the fish. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. The fish may have the amount and quality of feeds to fed to maintain and help them to gain their body weight. 17. This involves the culture of organisms that live mainly in inland waters with 0.1 parts per thousand, ppt, or less salt content. A. Freshwater culture. B. Brackish water culture. C. Marine or seawater culture. D. All of the above. Answer: A. Freshwater culture. Freshwater culture is understood the cultivation of aquatic organisms where the end product is raised in fresh water, such as reservoirs, rivers, lakes, canals, and groundwater. 18. This involves the culture of organisms that live in water with a salt content between 0.1 ppt and full-strength seawater. A. Freshwater culture. B. Brackish water culture. C. Marine or seawater culture. D. All of the above. Answer: B. Brackish water culture. Brackish water culture is understood the cultivation of aquatic organisms where the end product is raised in brackish water, such as estuaries, coves, bays, lagoons, and fjords, in which the salinity may lie or generally fluctuate between 0.5 per thousand and full-strength seawater. 19. It can be applied in existing bodies of water that cannot be drained or seined and would otherwise not be suitable for aquaculture. These include lakes, large reservoirs, farm ponds, rivers, cooling water discharge canals, estuaries, and coastal embayments. A. Cage. B. Fish pens. C. Concrete ponds. D. Recirculating system culture. Answer: A. Cage. Refers to an enclosure which is either stationary or floating, made up of nets or screens sewn or fastened together and installed in the water with opening at the surface, or covered and held in a place by wooden/bamboo posts or various types of anchors and floats. RA 8550 AARA 10654. 20. Disadvantages of cage, except A. Risk of loss from poaching or damage to cages from predators or storms. B. Less tolerance of fish to poor water quality. C. Dependence on nutritionally complete diets. D. Relatively low capital investment compared to ponds and raceway. Answer: D. Relatively low capital investment compared to ponds and raceway is the advantage of cage. 21. This is similar to cages, except that the species is allowed to access the bottom of the water body. A. Cage. B. Fish pens. C. Concrete ponds. D. Raceway culture. Answer: B. Fish pens. An artificial enclosure constructed within a body of water for culturing fish and fishery/aquatic resources, made up of poles closely arranged in an enclosure with wooden materials, screen, or nylon netting to prevent escape of fish. 22. A channel or tank with a continuous flow of water constructed or used for high-density fish production. A. Cage. B. Fish pens. C. Concrete ponds. D. Raceway culture. Answer: D. Flow-through systems usually are supplied by gravity flow from springs, streams, or other bodies of surface water. Inflowing water provides oxygen and flushes out wastes. The species being cultured is allowed to access the bottom of the water body. 23. Recirculating system culture are the same water is reused, after appropriate physical, biological, or chemical purification. A. True. B. False. Answer: A. True. In a recirculating aquaculture system, the culture water is purified and reused continuously. A recirculating aquaculture system is an almost completely closed circuit. The produced waste products, solid waste, ammonium, and CO2, are either removed or converted into non-toxic products by the system components. 24. The use of single species. A. Monoculture. B. Polyculture. C. Single culture. D. Mariculture. Answer: A. Monoculture. This is the culture of single species of fish in a pond or tank. The culture of Clarias only or Oreochromes niloticus or Heterodus or Gymnarchus are typical examples of monoculture. 25. The combined culture of various species with stratified and complementary feeding habit to bring about the production potential of the water body into full play by the vertical utilization of the fish pond and the maximum utilization of the natural food. A. Monoculture. B. Polyculture. C. Single culture. D. Mariculture. Answer: B. Polyculture. Polyculture is the production of two or more cultured species in the same physical space at the same time, often with the objective of producing multiple products that have economic value. They may be a combination of animals, plants, and animals, aquatic species only, or aquatic and terrestrial species. 26. Cygonids also known as rabbit fish. A. True. B. False. Answer: true. Because of its peaceful temperament, rounded blunt snout and rabbit-like appearance of jaws. 27. It is made from clean, fresh animal blood, exclusive of all extraneous materials, and also has a minimum protein content of 85% and a lysine content of 9 to 11% with a lysine availability of over 80%. A. Feather meal. B. Blood meal. C. Poultry byproduct meal. D. Meat meal. Answer: B. Blood meal. Unlike meat, bone, and other parts of the animal, blood meal contains substantial amounts of protein, more than 80%. Therefore, it is mainly fed to fish during their growth period. Moreover, blood is rich in organic nutrients, minerals, enzymes, and lipids, all beneficial for digestion. 28. Its use in fish feeds is restricted due to its low protein digestibility by fish. A. Feather meal. B. Blood meal. C. Poultry byproduct meal. D. Meat meal. Answer: A. Feather meal. Feather meal is a highly valuable protein source for aquaculture feeds and has demonstrated excellent performance in academic and commercial scale trials at high inclusion levels. 29. It is one of the most important source of animal protein used to feed domestic animals. A. Feather meal. B. Blood meal. C. Poultry byproduct meal. D. Meat meal. Answer: C. Poultry byproduct meal. Poultry byproduct meal is made from waste generated from poultry processing plants, exclusive of feathers and the contents of the gizzards and intestines. 30. This is made from ground up, bony trash fish and forage fish like anchovy, menhaden, or herring. A. Fish meal. B. Fish product and byproduct. C. Wet fish products. D. None of the above. Answer: A. Fish meal. Fish meal is the most important protein ingredient used in diets of animal feed including aquaculture species. The fat content ranges from 4 to 20% that contain high levels of essential amino acids. 31. The blank is simply the amount of feed it takes to grow a kilogram of fish. A. Feed conversion ratio. B. Protein efficiency ratio. C. Growth rate. D. Feed efficiency. Answer: A. Feed conversion ratio. The feed conversion ratio is defined as the dry weight of feed per unit wet weight gain, feed fed/gain. 32. If at the end of a production cycle, a total of 140 kilograms of fish are harvested from a pond and a total of 200 kilograms of feed was fed to the fish during production, how much feed was used, to produce each kilogram of fish harvested? A. 14,000 kilograms. B. 1,400 kilograms. C. 140 kilograms. D. 1.4 kilograms. Answer: D. 1.4 kilograms. The FCR will be 200 kilograms, total amount of feed fed during production, divided by 140 kilograms fish harvested, equals to 1.4 kg of feed was fed to the fish to produce each kilogram of fish. 33. The blank is a measure of the weight gain per unit protein fed and is a useful method to compare protein sources in a single experiment. A. Feed conversion ratio. B. Protein efficiency ratio. C. Growth rate. D. Feed efficiency. Answer: B. Protein efficiency ratio. Protein efficiency ratio, per, is based on the weight gain of a test subject divided by its intake of a particular food protein during the test period. It also gives a measure of how well the protein source in the diet provides for the essential amino acid requirement of the animal as well as how well the diet is balanced for energy and protein. 34. This is the energy that is released as heat when a substance is completely oxidized to carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, or water. A. Gross energy. B. Intake energy. C. Fecal energy. D. Urinary energy. Answer: A. Gross energy. The gross energy, GE, in a food is defined as the total chemical energy measured from complete combustion of the food in a bomb calorimeter. 35. Factors affecting the metabolic rate of fish. A. Body size. B. Temperature. C. Stress. D. All of the above. Answer. D. All of the above. All choices can affect the metabolic rate of a fish. 36. Blank feed for aquatic organisms as part of any aquaculture production. A. Aquafeed. B. Fish feeds. C. Complete diet. D. Supplemental diet. Answer. A. Aquafeeds refer to any feed given to aquatic farmed animals as part of aquaculture. Fish, both farmed and wild, require a balanced mix of essential nutrients such as amino acids, fatty acids, and vitamins to thrive. 37. Is fish farming profitable? A. Yes. B. No. C. Not yet. Answer. A. Yes. Fish farming is quite profitable given that the cost of fish in the local wholesale market ranges from 200 to 300 per kilogram, depending on the size of the fish. 38. All are species of tilapia except A. Oreochromis niloticus. B. Oreochromis mossymbicus. C. Oreochromis aureus. D. None of the above. Answer. D. None of the above. All choices are all species of tilapia. 39. Kjeldahl method is usually referred to as crude protein because the amounts of nitrogen might not only come from true proteins but some may come from non-protein nitrogen-containing compounds. A. True. B. False. Answer. A. True. The term crude protein means that other nitrogenous materials, which are not true proteins, such as urea, amides, nucleic acids, and amino sugars may be present. 40. Sea cucumber are classified as A. Echinoderms. B. Crustacean. C. None of the above. D. All of the above. Answer. A. Echinoderm. Sea cucumbers are part of a larger animal group called echinoderms, which also contains starfish and sea urchins. Their body shape is similar to a cucumber, but they have small tentacle-like tube feet that are used for locomotion and feeding. 41. Scientific name of blue mussel. A. Mytilus. B. Perna perna. C. Perna canaliculus. D. Mytilus trosulus. Answer. A. Mytilus is the correct answer. 42. Which of the following are the common name of Holothuria scabra? A. Sandfish. B. Black sea cucumber. C. Abalone. D. Giant clam. Answer. B. Holothuria scabra, or sandfish, is a species of sea cucumber in the family Holothuriidae. 43. Blank is a scientific study of genes and heredity of how certain qualities or traits are passed from parents to offspring as a result of changes in DNA sequence. A. Breeding. B. Genetics. C. Reproduction. D. Ovulation. Answer. B. Genetics is the science of genes and how traits are passed on from one generation to the next. 44. It is essentially a branch of genetics, but is also a part of cell biology/cytology, that is concerned with how the chromosomes relate to cell behavior, particularly to their behavior during mitosis and meiosis. A. Genetics. B. Cytogenetics. C. Eukaryotic. D. Prokaryotic. Answer. B. Cytogenetics is a branch of biology focused on the study of chromosomes and their inheritance, especially as applied to medical genetics, and also it is a study of chromosomes, which are long strands of DNA and protein that contain most of the genetic information in a cell. 45. A useful tool for predicting what the offspring will look like when mating plants or animals. A. Punnett square. B. Kjeldahl method. C. Sex determination. D. Test crosses. Answer. A. A Punnett square is a helpful tool that helps to predict the variations and probabilities that can come from crossbreeding. 46. One allele is not completely dominant over the other. A. Incomplete dominance. B. Codominance. C. Multidominance. D. None of the above. Answer. A. Incomplete dominance occurs in the heterozygote, in which the dominant allele does not dominate the recessive allele entirely, rather, an intermediate trait appears in the offspring. 47. The frequency of two alleles in a gene pool is 0.19, A, and 0.81, A. Assume that the population is in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. What will be the percentage of heterozygous individuals in the population? A 30%, B 31%, C 32%, D 33%. Answer: B. According to the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium equation, heterozygotes are represented by the 2pq term. Therefore, the number of heterozygous individuals, AA, is equal to 2pq, which equals 2 times 0.19 times 0.81 equals 0.31 or 31% A. 48. Given the question in number 47, what will be the percentage of homozygous recessives in the population? A 66%, B 67%, C 68%, D 69%. Answer: A. The homozygous recessive individuals, AA, are represented by the Q2 term in the HW equilibrium equation, which equals 0.81 times 0.81 equals 0.66 or 66%. 49. Which is not applicable. Bacterial pathogen is considered important in aquaculture if A. The cultured species has an impact to the socio-economic status of all possible stakeholders. B. There is zoonotic potential of the bacterial pathogen in other animals. C. The bacteria is affecting livelihood of small to large-scale fish farmers. D. The species affected is economically important. Answer: B. Letter B is wrong, since when we pertain to zoonotic potential, this refers to infection from animals to human and not animal to animal. 50. Gill parasites result to reduced oxygen uptake. Which is correct? A. Yes, because gill parasites consume first the oxygen before the fish can consume it. B. Yes, because gill parasites are exposed on the outside or surrounding of the gills, thereby blocking the oxygen entry into the gills. C. No, because gill parasites actually enhance oxygen uptake by the infected fish. D. None of the above. Answer: D. None of the choices is correct, since once the gill parasites heavily infect the gills, the secondary lamellae are inflamed, thereby reducing the surface area of the gills for efficient gas exchanges.